Live from New York. Happy Thanksgiving Eve. It's
Ask a Turkey.
It's Ask an Engineer.
Ask Engineer Turkey. It's me, Lady Ada, with my turkey friend. With me is Mr. Lady Ada. We're here at the Adafruit factory where, hold on. Okay, enough. I'm going to turn you into dinner. Hold on.
That's right.
Sorry. We're here at the Adafruit factory. We do all of our design, testing, manufacturing, shipping of electronic goodies around the world. Y'all are probably interested in, like, are we going to have some sales maybe? Or, like, can you get free stuff? Or, like, what's the new stuff? There's a little bit of, I mean, tomorrow's definitely Thanksgiving Day, but then, you know, Friday's a shopping day. So we got all sorts of details about that coming up, as well as some amazing projects, tons of guides, news from CircuitPython, and more. What's on tonight's show, Mr. Lady Ada?
On tonight's show, the code is thank you, because it's Thanksgiving, and we're going to be saying lots of thank yous. So
Thank you.
Our way of saying thank you is, one, saying thank you. The other one is get 10% off. This is a good idea, even though there might be a sale on Friday and Monday and over the weekend, because we will run out of stuff. So you get 10% off in the Adafruit store tonight. You might want to do that if you're worried about stuff going out of stock, and we promise you that will always happen on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday of a week like this. It supports us, an open source hardware company here in New York City. Ain't nothing like an Adafruit, and the only reason we're around is because you all purchase stuff once in a while. So thank you, and don't forget to use the code. Show and tell people around the world showing and sharing your projects. Lady will go over those. Got a special mailbag this week. Pack Mailbag will stop by. We'll read some of thank yous that came in. CircuitPython news, Python on hardware. We'll do our recap of the week. Time travel, look back in the world of makers, hackers, artists, engineers, technology, weird things, and more. Help wanted. We have jobs from the jobs board. We talk about every single week, and we want to remind you, post your skills and more. Made in New York City. In New York City, there's a factory. It's called Adafruit. We have footage from it.
That's us.
3D printing, Noah and Pedro's videos of the week. New products, got a bunch of cool new stuff. Top secret. These are going to blow your mind. This week, this is a big top secret.
Good ones.
So tune in.
Some of which you've never seen
before.
Tune
in towards the end of the show if you want to leave and come back. But if you know, maybe watch the whole thing.
Oh yeah.
And we'll answer your questions. We do that over on Discord, adafruit.it/Discord. We're almost up to 9,000 members, by the way. Getting really close.
You want to be number 9,000?
9,000 humans. If you haven't joined Discord, do it now. adafruit.it/Discord. It's a 24-hour day, 7-day week, 365 hackerspace that's friendly. You can bring your granddaughter to, is what people are saying about it. And at the end, we have a trivia question, the show, all that and more on, you guessed it, Ask an Engineer.
Bam.
Okay, well, we're going to pay some bills here. Don't forget the codes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Even though there's sales going on right now and even later, you get free stuff, which is unusual. It's unlike most websites. So, Lady, what is the free things this week?
Here's what the free things you get. So, in addition to getting that 10% off when you use the thank you code, for orders that have $99 or more of stuff in the cart, you will get a free Permaproto half-size breadboard. This handy printed circuit board can be used to take your solderless breadboard projects and make them permanent. That's the permanent, nice and solid. I love these. I use them all the time. $199 or more, you get free UPS ground shipping. This is a high quality ground shipping in the continental United States. It's trackable. Order now, you'll get it before holiday season for sure. So that's a good time if you want to save money on shipping, get free shipping. Order now and you choose free UPS ground when you order $200 or more. And then $299 or more, you get a free Circuit Playground Express. This is the gift of the season. Circuit Playground Express, we've got hundreds of projects, guides, tutorials, videos. You can use MakeCode, you can use Arduino, you can use CircuitPython, you can use code.org CS discoveries. You can, like, there's even, what's that other, the microblock thingies? There's even more ways to program it and learn electronics with this board that has everything built in. LEDs, sensors, capacitive touch, memory, like more sensors, more LEDs, and you can write your name in the back. So all that and more, it's free when you order enough stuff in your cart, and it'll tell you like how much you have to get those free things as well. So
okay, some reminders, just some type of shipping. So in the U.S., use UPS.
Good.
The best one, UPS ground. It's a good deal and
low
also
cost,
trackable. Postal, especially around now, it's a little bit of a risk. You should always make sure that you know that it could be delayed. It's the way the postal service works. It's just how it is. It's lower cost though. DHL International. That's if you're anywhere outside the U.S., it'll sail right through customs, prepaid, all that stuff. It gets you really fast. We do have our shipping deadlines. Make sure you check our website. You'll want to coordinate with friends, family, yourself, if you want things to show up before any holiday specific date. if you're in Manhattan, we have same-day delivery if you check out before 11 a.m. Of course, not tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, so we won't be doing tomorrow, but we will have that every other day that's not holiday. And one last reminder, we are not shipping, of course, tomorrow, so if you place an order tonight, it will not ship out till Friday. Okay, Lady Ada. People around the world showing and sharing their projects. We said a bunch of thank yous, but
yes.
Once again, we do a show and tell. It's getting close to like 10 years in a row now. And thank you everyone who shows their projects. When people get together and show projects, more people get together and show projects.
Yes,
and
they're inspired.
And that's what someone said. They said, oh, I have to usually work on Wednesday nights, but I still watch the shows. And just seeing that, that's what they like to see, more people showing and sharing. So it's like a show and tell worldwide every single week that people get to tune into.
The show and tell is ourselves.
Yeah. Okay. So who's on the show and tell? What did they share?
Adafruit West person, Erin. She showed off her amazing resin table with NeoPixels embedded in it. It's like a gorgeous 3-foot by 3-foot table with a couple hundred NeoPixels. It looks great. She's been working on this for months, and so a guide's being written up. But I'm checking out the video. It's a very, everyone went, ooh, when she, turned on the NeoPixels, because it was really cool looking. And, of course, you can program it with CircuitPython or Arduino. Phil B is a little bit sad because Halloween, which is the best holiday of the year, is over, unless you want to count next year, which is just beginning. But wanted to start off maybe doing some Krampus celebrations, because he loves Krampus, with a Krampus globe. Instead of snow, it uses the filthy coal of the evil souls of the children that he eats, and then instead of rainbow Circuit Playground Express, it has the glowing fires of hell, like a beautiful red and orange glowing demon fire. And he also made those cool gritty eyes that you showed off, and he posted it up in the Googly Eye guide. Thank you for demonstrating them once again.
That's right.
Specular highlights. Kattni did her first major software refactor. She refactored the character LCD library in CircuitPython. It is now so object-oriented. It's so easy to make new character LCD displays with different converters and breakouts and stuff. Check that out. She did a huge V3 release, and all the documentation has been updated as well. Mike B showed off a guide he'll be writing up. It's a Neo Trellis painter box. It's like you just press the little buttons and they change colors. It's so great to draw a little 4x8 drawing. He was like Microsoft Windows 1.0 or something, very low res, but you can make cool little drawings or animations with it. And also thinking of some Circuit Playground Express holiday project ideas. Known Pedro, we're live from Epcot Center. They were not expected. They're showing off next week's project with a GPS tour guide using Halloween. It uses the GPS featherwing to know where you are, and then plays audio and shows a image on the display. So as they're going on Epcot, it knows where they're going, and it will show a little display. On the display, it'll show a graphic of the event or the location at Epcot, and then also play a little tour guide audio, or if there's I guess an area where you go to different countries, so you go to France.
Yeah, but in Epcot you walk around, there's different countries. Yeah. And when we're talking about this project, the goal is, if you know Python, or even if you don't know Python, you want to learn coding, people always come up with ideas I'd love a location-based MP3 player. So when I'm running and I get to a certain spot, it plays this song. Or when I go to a certain location, it'll unlock this music or this audio file. And so they were able to make this project, and it's CircuitPython, it's audio, and it's the images. So as they explore Epcot, it unlocks those different songs or anthems or whatever when they get there. It's a very, very powerful idea that anyone can make. So that'll be next week's project. You'll see it on our site.
Yes. Okay, next up. Sorry, what was I going to look at? Okay, Brian just got back from DesignerCon. He was actually, his stuff starred in the CircuitPython newsletter. He made these custom CircuitPython boards with M4 for embedding into resonant art forms. So it's like this raccoon, and it has a dot star that's a heartbeat, and it's all done in CircuitPython. He showed off his custom boards that he's designing for this art, and he was showing it off and selling it at DesignerCon. And then he also showed off his dot star carrier board. So he's been doing a lot of advanced engineering, and he said that CircuitPython was great for his art because it made it really fast to iterate and update. Jay showed off, he usually can't make it, but because he works on Wednesday, but this time, I guess because of the holiday, he could show off his Nerf gun. He weathered it, he put a Raspberry Pi in it, it's running OpenCV, it's got a camera and a display, and maybe it can identify humans to nerf. And then he's also making a 2020, like an 8020 metal frame, 3D printed enclosure. So it's an enclosure for a 3D printer, because in winter, the printer, the drafts in his garage or workshop, makes the prints sometimes get sticky or they don't work out. So this gigantic enclosure will have acrylic around it to keep drafts and cold out, so it'll stay nice and toasty, and 3D print through the winter. It's like the Snowpiercer of 3D printing or something. Always through the winter, he will be 3D printing. And then Bill B visited Dan Halbert in Cambridge. They had a fun time in Cambridge. Maybe they went to Mary's and got some dun-dun noodles. And then he talked about this Sunday. This Sunday is Adaptathon. He's going to have 100 kids from high school and college robotics clubs come by. They're going to get all these toys. There's a couple hundred toys that they're going to adapt so that kids that use accessibility technology can play with these toys. He showed off this Zoom tube, this cool new toy, and he showed how he's hacking it to add AT switches. They have this the Moana chicken. They're modifying it also, so you can use an AT switch instead of shaking it or squeezing it. So good stuff. If you're in Orlando on Sunday, check it out, and maybe you can help, especially if you're a skilled solderer. And then he's also 3D printing some light touch switches. And then Dan came by briefly, and we got a preview of some eyes that go in a skull. So he took 2 Halo wings, and he put some eyeball coat in them, and he's sticking them in a skull of some sort. So that's kind of cool. Maybe we'll see more of that next week. Whew.
All participants on the show and tell, get as seen on the show and tell sticker, and you also get our thanks for coming by, everyone. Part of our Adafruit Live series of shows, John Park, JP, he's off tomorrow, of course. He's probably going to be eating some turkey-like substance. So I have some videos from the latest things he's been doing.
Lots of stuff to keep you busy.
A lot of Neo Trellis projects, so I wanted to show some of the musical stylings of JP. And pack the mailbag. So normally we read the emails or tweets or comments that the community sends in, and we read these on our show here and also at State of the Fruit, which we call State of the Fruit.
What do you call it again?
Which we call State of the Fruit.
Well, there you go.
Our weekly all-company meeting that we do, even for remote folks that get the notes, and sometimes they participate over video. It all depends. But this week, and we do this every year, the Community Sport and Publishing team emailed everyone and said, hey, do you have anything you're thankful for? So we're going to be doing this blog post. It'll be tomorrow. So you'll see a bunch of this stuff. So I just wanted to read just the first one. You'll see the rest of these. They're always funny because they're just from everyone at Adafruit who works here. One is thankful for fluffy quadrupeds, assume they mean cats and dogs, things like that. Thankful for chacos, bagels are pretty neat as well. And then this one, I'm grateful to be part of a team that's making the world more open, caring, and delightful, and to feel safe in the face of adventure and opportunity, and for all my friends and the good experience we create in each other's lives. So you just hear a lot of things that people have to say. And then one, this was nice to hear because we don't know who these are from, but someone said they were really thankful for the mother's room that we have for returning moms. So it's just kind of neat that it's
a lovely room.
Yeah,
I've never been in it.
we try to be the best possible employer we can with the resources we have. So we have things like we did the paid day off for voting. We do paid day off for charity. We have the Mother's Room. We just finished all of our healthcare benefits for everyone. We have one great plan, and so our Aetna rep came in, and I always ask them, like, please tell the team how our benefits rank with all the other companies of a bigger size, smaller size, same size, whatever. And the Aetna rep so far consistently said, you have better, even though we have Aetna benefits and we work at Aetna, you have a better plan than I do.
Yeah.
Because we have a really good healthcare plan for the team. And then we're doing our 401k meeting pretty soon. And so these are the things, like, I think employers, they'll give you a gift card, although, hey, thanks everybody, like, you know, employee appreciation day, but I think your actions are what matters the most. And I think when you have the opportunity to do stuff, I remember when you first started Adafruit, you always gave healthcare to the...
Yeah, from the very beginning.
From the very beginning when it was...
It wasn't the law, you didn't have to.
Yeah, and we did transit benefits, it wasn't the law. And we always tried to do the best and watch the world catch up to us. Yeah. And so that's what we've been doing. So anyways, that's the way we say things, but it was also nice that the team doesn't have to send these in. They did. So it was very nice of them. So thank you, everybody, whoever sent these in.
Yes.
We'll be reading all of them tomorrow. Okay, don't forget, adafruit.it/Discord is where we answer all our questions. So you should head there now.
Okay.
JP also does MakeCode Minute every single week. So we're going to play this one.
Learn all about MakeCode.
Yeah.
Take it away, JP.
The MakeCode Minute. Right on. So, what do we have here today? So for the MakeCode Minute today, I wanted to talk about logic loops. So specifically the if-else or else-if statement. So if you look here in my MakeCode session, right here in the logic portion of the categories, we have this if true then or if true then else, and they also have these plus signs, and that's important. So what I've done is I've loaded up my forever loop with these statements. And what you can see is that I have a statement that says if a counter, which is a variable I've created, gets to 4, then drop it back down to 0. So I'm using this as a way to loop. When I press a button, I'm going to move this, increment this counter, but I only want it to get to 0, 1, 2, 3, and then back to 0. Then I've got a series of these else-if statements. And what these say is, what do we do when the counter is at 0? What do we do when the counter is at 1, 2, and 3? And so what I'm doing is I'm simply changing the colors of the neopixels on the CircuitPython Express depending on which number in the counter I get. So this is one way to create sort of a little list that we're going to run through each time we press the button. So if you take a look at the CircuitPython Express here, there you can see 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. And so that is how you can use the if-else statement to look at conditions and when they're met, do something. And so that is your MakeCode Minute.
And that's the MakeCode Minute. JP will be returning next week.
For more fun.
Okay. Python on hardware. We bring you the latest news from the growing trend.
The most pink snakes.
Python on electronics.
Okay.
So,
what happened this week?
Well, this week we looked at art.
Oh, l'art.
Art and the combination of art and electronics. And I could think of no better example than this right now. And luckily, Brian just came on our show. So this is from Bay Area artist Vanessa Di Tullio, if I pronounced that right. And these were the ceramic sculptures that were at DesignerCon. And the special cool thing about these is they run CircuitPython
embedded inside.
And Brian, who works on this, said that he could have used other things, but the iteration and the ability to work fast and get these in prototype format and actually get it to work is what made him choose CircuitPython. So I think this is one of those good examples of why we made CircuitPython. We wanted to make it for everyone. If you're an artist and you want to make something glow and something move, you shouldn't have to spend forever on it. You should be able to build something that you want to build, and Python is a very approachable language for lots of people, particularly artists. We also looked at other types of art. So there's a generative art project on GitHub that we linked to, and it's just made of Python. So this is like a Python processy type thing. Dave did a servo tester, And actually, Dave didn't make it to show and tell, but I know he's working on this because I just looked at it on Instagram. He got Flappy Bird working on Trellis.
Yeah.
yeah, it's cool. So,
but this is a really handy thing. I mean, this is a project that he actually came up with this because he's been doing a lot of robotic stuff. And you know, like every motor is a little bit different. Sometimes you've got like 90-degree range, sometimes 180. Metal gear is different than plastic, micro, or continuous rotation. So this is a little CircuitPython controlled servo tester that will actually, you know, set the angle and tell you, like as you turn it, it will set it so you can tell exactly where it stops. So perfect for specifying out your motors, like figuring out what is the exact pulse width for each one. And you know, so it's good to like just test and see the physical range. Very handy.
This is from Cedar Grove. This is a final prototype of CircuitPython based testers used to fix and repurpose analog meters.
Yeah, look, he's got a custom featherwing as well.
All right, next up. You know, we keep an eye on all things Python on hardware. This is the Speed Max RISC 564 AI module. It's on Indiegogo.
Yeah,
it looks like there is a MicroPython port for it. We're going to be watching this.
Yeah, it's a 600 megahertz processor, and it looks like their MicroPython is basically one of the ways that they're suggesting people program it, which is neat because like historically, you know, these boards would come with like embedded Linux, but they're actually like now, you know, if you're going to go with an embedded like real-time type operating system, maybe just go straight to CircuitPython and then use that as your operating system.
And then Ken posted up, this is Pixel 32. It's MicroPython on your Pixel kit in the browser. And we linked over to GitHub
this is
and
the
to the video.
web REPL, I think, for the ESP32, and they just adapted it to be optimized for the Kano board. So again, another example of a product that has an embedded, you know, a REPL with embedded MicroPython, embedded CircuitPython, so you can program it directly without needing an IDE or compiler.
And as we prepare for AdaBox 10, we're talking about light and sound and more. We have a lot of articles from Tron to the Magic Kingdom, things that inspired us to do light and sound with Python. We also pointed to some of the guides we have and more. Updated guide, this is our little owl project.
Yep, Mikey Sklar has updated this from Arduino to now it works on CircuitPython, and this is a Mike Borella original project. We still have the little kit for it, but now you can use a Gemma M0.
And then we had some made with Moo. Ben posted up some fantastic slides and code on GitHub on Pygame 0, which is a really easy way to use Moo, our favorite editor, to make games. And in case you're wondering what Moo is, it makes it easy as possible to get started with programming, but aims to help you graduate to real development tools later. One of the cool things I like about it is you're typing code. It's not a block editor. There's things like MakeCode for that, but this one is you're learning Python as you're going along.
But it does stuff like, you know, oh, hey, you know, I think you didn't put enough spaces here, or like this is, you mistyped something. So it does help you along.
Yeah, it's kind of like, and as one of the creators of it, Nicholas said, it's like the toddling stage in learning to walk. You're finding your feet, and once you're confident, you should be able to move on and explore. Speaking of Python, looks like, and we posted up this on Twitter and more, that Python's going to be the official programming language in France. So when they're teaching programming, it's going to be Python.
Okay.
So that's a big deal, and we're seeing and hearing about more of this. It's one of the most popular programming languages in the world, and then I think you'll see more curriculums go for it. And then this made the rounds. This is an interesting thing. This is from Andreas, and this was an interesting video. It was, I'll just read the description. Python seems to be the fastest growing programming language, is widely used to program Raspberry Pis. It's on the verge to become available on our small microcontrollers. Has it come time to leave the IDE, the Arduino IDE, and go on? And, you know, popular video, lots of people had comments, but the cool thing is it's now a conversation. It's not even like use Arduino or CircuitPython.
It's never like, oh, there's a replacement, like never use Arduino. Yes, there's always going to be times you want to use Arduino.
But he did a really good job.
I think he did a good job comparing when you want to use either one.
Yeah.
There are time situations, like for example, this artist who's like, I need fast iteration, I don't need ultra high speed, I just actually want usability, I want safety in code, I want the code not to, you know, crash or like, you know, we just wrote a little article for a magazine's going to come out, and you never have to worry about like, oh, if you divide by 0 or like read the wrong memory location, which is so easy to do in Arduino that your code will crash and you'll never know what happens. If something goes wrong in Python, it will pop you out and say, hey, you know, an exception occurred, here's where it is. So as you're developing a project, it'll help you catch your bugs, it'll help you not make memory access errors or worry about getting like invalid data, and then you don't realize that you had invalid data because it fails somewhere else. There's so much checking that happens in each step because it's an interpreted language. But yeah, on the smaller microcontrollers, of course, you always want to use Arduino because CircuitPython or MicroPython will fit on them. But the chips that are coming out now, there's not a lot of new small 8-bit micros. All the new things coming out now are Cortex M3s, M4s. Suddenly, like the M7s are coming out. They're becoming more popular. That speed is 600 megahertz. If you have 600 megahertz and such a complicated peripheral chain, you can't just toggle a register anymore. It doesn't work that way. There is no like, ooh, I toggle a register and now the pin goes high. No. You can't do that no more once you get into these processors. There's so many steps. You have to like synchronize the clocks, and you have to take control of the bus, and you have to like, stop any other multi-core stuff happening and then perform your action. If you're going to be doing that, you might as well have something like CircuitPython to help you with that abstraction, let you do more instead of spending like line by line. One 2-letter command in Python, like the in or with command, is equivalent to like 30 or 40 lines of C. So you can just zoom through your code.
I think the thing that I've seen is people want to get started really fast, and they want to do a lot of iteration. And interpret language with something like the REPL, with Mu in particular, and something like CircuitPython, where it shows up as a drive. When you save the file, it restarts. Those are all the things that people, they're like, this is how it should be.
Yeah. Very interesting. Anyways, I think a lot of it was covered. Check out the video. It's never which one was good for the task at hand.
Okay.
Speaking of mega processors.
Yeah, we're going to do this in, it's not out yet, but this is some of the stuff that we showed.
Look at all these
MIDI,
great hardware.
Bluefruit NRF, Mega. And then we also have some upcoming events. PyCon will be in 2019, May 1st through 9th. This was our most clicked from the previous week, all graphic widgets in one form.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I keep track of that. And then in our Help Wanted section, we went over the Pi jobs that are there. So if you're looking for a job with the Raspberry Pi Foundation, they have a Club Program Manager and a Club Growth Manager. We're still looking for help for translating the messages. CircuitPython, we have a link to that. We have our awesome CircuitPython list, and all this is in Adafruit Daily that goes out every single Tuesday. I think it's the most popular Python on hardware newsletter at the moment.
I'm saying it. I'm calling it. It is.
And
number one.
That's it. That's the news
number
for
one.
Python on hardware this week.
Blinka says goodbye.
Okay. Time travel. Look back at the world of makers, hackers, artists, and engineers.
What happened?
Celebrating a birthday.
What?
Happy birthday, Windows 1.1.
Oh, yay! Wow, look at that amazing color scheme.
That's right. So it runs as a graphical 16-bit multitasking shell on top of the existing MS-DOS installation, and it was spearheaded by company founder Bill Gates after he saw a demonstration that was another windowing system. So it was released 1985, and you probably said, what was the advertisement for it? How did people find out about it? And so we dug one up, and we're going to play it. This is an actual Windows 1.0 commercial from 1985 that I saw a while ago, and when we had this on our site, I'm like, oh yeah, I should add this to the show. So I decided to do it.
How much do you think this advanced operating environment is worth? Wait just 1 minute before you answer. Watch as Windows integrates Lotus 123 with Miami Vice. Now we can take this Ferrari and paste it right into Windows Right. Now how much do you think Microsoft Windows is worth? Don't answer. Wait until you see Windows Right and Windows Paint, and to listen to what else you get at no extra charge. The MS-DOS executive, an appointment calendar, a card file, a notepad, a clock, a control panel, a terminal, a print spooler, a RAM driver, and can you believe it? Reversi! That's right! All these features in Reversi, all for just, how much did you guess? 500? 1,000? Even more? No, it's just $99! That's right! It's $99! It's an incredible value, but it's true! It's Windows from Microsoft! Order today! P.O. Box 286 DOS, except in Nebraska.
Okay, Reversi.
So
I got to do Reversi now.
yeah, so P.O. Box. That's
I love the P.O. Box 286 DOS.
You had to send your $100,
Classic.
and then you'd get a disc in the mail. So anyways, that's happy birthday, Windows 1.0.
That's a good ad.
Yeah. help wanted. These are Adafruit job board. Go to jobs@adafruit.com, post your skills, but also take a look at some of the latest jobs. There are too many to list.
There are so many, we had to add pagination.
Yeah, so check it out. And if you're a company that wants to have some of the best, most talented makers in the world apply for the jobs that you have,
Yeah,
this is the place to go.
Oh my goodness, more came in.
Ingenious Design has a mobile developer, electrical engineer, software engineer, systems engineer. Dame, who we know, that's from Janet's company, electrical and engineering technician. A Arduino NeoPixel consultant wanted from GAD Systems. A senior firmware engineer from Extrava. It just goes on and on and on and on, so do check it out. Okay, Lady Ada, we have a bunch of guides. You know how many we have?
Like 20. 286?
No, we have 1,000.
500?
We have 1,651 guides.
But none of them are reversey.
Well,
I got to do that now. Now I'm like, I have to do reversey for trials.
We could do that.
Okay, so we had we had like 9 guides that went live. We had so many guides. So let's.
Yeah, I'm gonna get ready here because we have so many that I have to move some windows around.
Okay.
On the screen here.
Some Windows 1.
Well.
Okay. So we started at the top left. We have that turkey hand. You saw a little video. This is a Cricket powered project. It's got Circuit Playground Express, Cricket with a speaker, and it gobbles when you shake it or touch it. So it's a little decorative battery powered robot. You know, we were thinking about the robot, the turkey hands that people make, and we thought, let's make a little robot out of it. So thanks to Dano for writing that up. It's a great beginner project. I wrote up a soil sensor tutorial. If you got the soil sensor from sorry, it took me a couple of days to write that up. But you can use it with CircuitPython or Arduino. Great I2C capacitive touch soil and moisture and temperature sensor. So very handy for devices like the Raspberry Pi, which don't have analog inputs, because a lot of soil moisture sensors are analog only. But this is I2C, and you can get the data quite easily over 2 pins. Colin wrote up the Circuit Playground piece for PCB guide. I'm sure you loved that video that came out a couple weeks ago. Now it has a guide as well that you can follow along, as well as the video embedded, and some more resources if you're interested about how PCs are made. You have the LED harness brawl, which is this like totally amazing project. It even shows you how to make this like vinyl harness. You sew it together, you put the NeoPixels in, and then you write code that you can run with any Arduino. It just looks amazing, and it's great. You can wear it on top of anything. The author wore this to Burning Man and said, you know, at nighttime she could wear like a nice warm sweater, and then you put this on top, and she's like lit, visible, and having a good time at the parties, but you know, doesn't have to worry about like getting like super cold because it gets cold there. Or during the daytime, you can wear a light shirt underneath it as well. We have from Known Page a simple iPad Pro bumper. This week they're taking off, so they just published a simple project that they found useful, which is printing out a flexible filament bumper for their iPad Pro. If you have one, that might be handy. From JP, we've got we showed you some of the videos earlier. It's a classic MIDI for the NeoTrellis. NeoTrellis has a stemma connector, this 4-pin connector that has UART data that you can send out of it, and then by connecting it to a 3.5mm terminal block and then plugging in a MIDI adapter, it's a kind of a standard, there's a standard MIDI 3.5mm adapter. You can use your NeoTrellis to send MIDI data from the buttons and from the accelerometer to control older synthesizers that need raw MIDI data. So he wrote up a nice guide, explains, you know, how that works in UART, because we support both UART MIDI and USB MIDI. It's a little confusing because one is like you plug directly into the computer, and another one uses this big chunky jack, and you plug it into your little old Casio keyboard or something. From Isaac Wellish, we've got this adorable ice cream truck using Cricket and a Circuit Playground Express. It's got 2 wheels, it drives around, it plays a tune on the Circuit Playground, it's got some NeoPixels, as well as a AdaBox character to let you know it's time to serve ice cream, so check that out. It's a little bit more of an advanced Cricket guide, but it's a nice take on the robotic rover. This rover does more than just bump into walls, it serves ice cream. From Colin, we showed the video of the NeoTrellis arpeggiator. This is kind of neat. It can either make the sound on its own or send MIDI commands out, either way, so you can control something else. As you saw, like we had it controlling an old synthesizer, or you can just make the tunes on its own. It uses an arpeggiation, so when you press a note, it'll play the notes that go well with it. So you can kind of sound like you're a musician, even if you're like me and you don't know much about music at all. We also had the epic guide from last week, JP's write-up of Dean Miller's 16-step sequencer and the basic sequencer. This is a really advanced synthesizer with stutter control, 8 different sound effects, 8 recordable sound effects. You can use a microphone to record your own sounds. Bit crusher filters that can be turned on and off, and with the accelerometer, so as you tilt it, the filters go on and off. Tempo adjust, volume adjust, and you can solo the kits, so you can like turn on and off different drums and different samples. It's like a really advanced drum machine. He got a lot of inspiration from the Teenage Engineering kits and made a very powerful but pretty easy to use 16-step sampler sequencer. And it uses like TR-909 type samples. So it's like a very drum machine, but of course you can update it with whatever other sound effects if you like. And then, yeah, we got the David Stell servo tester.
And then the dice guide.
The dice guide. So this is it's a simple guide that you shake. You can select how many dice you want to do. Like, for RPGs, you might want like 6-sided die, you need 3 of them, or you have a 20-sided die, you need 2 of them. It will animate and will display the numbers on the side. And then the servo, we showed you off that before, CircuitPython. Servo tester, handy for roboticists. And that's it. There's a lot of guides this week.
That's right.
Done.
1,651. Whew. Thank you, guide writers, and all the people who worked on it.
And thanks, Mike Barella, for
yeah.
just, he gets them all ready for me. He tees them up, and I make them live. And, we make sure that every guide is really good. We're into the high-quality guides, always have code, always have diagrams, always have like an animation or a video so you know what you're getting. Pick a project, any project, at 1,651 to choose from this long weekend.
Okay, in New York City, we have some factory footage from some stuff going on this week. Take it away, past us. And it wouldn't be a main New York City factory footage tour without some sunsets.
A lovely sunset.
Sun rising.
I think it's a sunset.
Yeah. All right. 3D printing. Pedro printed up a bunch of stuff this week. The iPad Pro bumper.
Yeah.
Yep.
A simple but handy project.
Yeah, you need this. If you have one of those, because there's a little camera thing.
I break stuff all the time.
course, we have a speed up. Take it away, Pedro.
Zoom.
Again. And don't forget 3D Hangouts will be back next week. We have to do a reminder because folks are going to be like, how come I couldn't get an AdaBox? Because it was too late. We have this many openings left in AdaBox.
Not many.
10.
Not many.
So if we just added some more, but we have to ship them in time for the holidays. So here is your video reminder that the time is running out. If you want an AdaBox 10, which ships
Very soon.
early December, you'll get it before Christmas, essentially.
You'll
like
get
that's
it for
what people always
Christmas,
ask. Like
yeah.
that's a date.
Yeah.
But you should do it now. You should take a break, go to adabox.com and order it. This is your clock reminder. We have a video with a clock.
Tick tock, tick
It's
tock.
like, hey,
Hi.
I order.
Running out of time.
And if you have a young person and you want to give them an AdaBox, this is the way to do it. You can give it as a gift, or you can get it for yourself.
Or get two.
Yep.
One for you, one for a gift.
Okay, Lady Ada, before we go off to new products, the code is thank you. 10% off an Adafruit store all the way up to 11:59 p.m. If you want to hold off and not pick up anything till Friday, that's fine, because there might be other sales, but just keep in mind, every year we run out of stuff right around the next 4 days. Like the Adafruit store will just be emptied out. So if you want to get ahead of, if there's anything you want now, do it now. Get 10% off now, and you get, of course, all the free stuff that goes along with that.
Okay.
Here we go.
New, 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 new. New, 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 new.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay. First off, we've got this cable. This cable is a perfect demonstration of what it is. You've got USB on one end and Lightning on the other. It allows you to plug in keyboards and mice and MIDI devices. So, for example,
You want to do something like this? You know what you're going to need?
yeah,
something like this.
And we've shown this in some videos where we
wanna
plug
do
a trellis or any microcontroller that has a MIDI output, USB MIDI. You can plug it into an iPad and it will show up as a MIDI device. And like, there's no drivers or weird software, and then you can use it with tons of apps, some of which are free, some which are not, to connect your MIDI USB device. You can also use it for HID input, like keyboard and mouse input. Note, it won't let you do disk drive access, so like it's not like you can plug in a USB key and it'll show up as a drive, and you can't use it for USB CDC. It's just basically like a camera connector, so it's only good for keyboard, mouse, and MIDI, and like some cameras, but it's not like it'll magically make it so you can use UART devices with iOS.
Okay, accept.
Okay, we got an update for the PiCade.
An update to the PiCade.
This is a great gift. I mean, this is amazing. It's an all-in-one kit. You build it yourself. No soldering required. Of the Pimoni PiCade, it's got these beautiful buttons. It's got a nice joystick. It's got this like gorgeous screen. It's like the nicest Raspberry Pi powered retro arcade. It's got the on-off button on the side. Yeah, you can see the back, and it has a protector on the back, so you don't have to have it exposed. We just removed that so we could show you the photo, and I've got it here.
They went all out.
They went all out, and they changed the material. It's like a kind of a fiber material. It's got the new PiCade X hat. It's got this new RT2660H driver board. It's got big speaker.
Let's go to this here.
Yeah, it's got a lot going on here. It's got an 8-inch high resolution screen. It's got a control panel thing here too. So this is like an epic build here. So they simplified it a lot. It's easier than ever, but it's also quite powerful. Comes with the latest Raspberry Pi 3B, so it can emulate, not like the latest, PSP. Sorry, the latest PlayStation 4, but like earlier games, retro games, Nintendo games, Super Nintendo games, homebrews, and stuff like that, you can absolutely play on the Picade. So this is a really lovely build, and yeah, it's got this all laser cut or die cut pieces. You just snap them together, follow the instructions. It's a good weekend build, and you can make your own mini gaming platform. Amazing.
All right.
So cool. This is mine now. Okay. Also with a gigantic...
We have large things this week on the show.
We have some large, yeah.
These are large things.
Okay. So we also got the latest Kano Computer Kit Complete. This is a big update. The previous one was like, you got a Raspberry Pi in a case. Now it's kind of an all-in-one enclosure. It comes with all the software. You do put it together, but it's, again, a very plug-and-play. It's not too complicated. I think it comes with a microphone, speaker. It comes with the keyboard with built-in touchpad. I believe the screen is a touch screen as well, but I don't know if I've configured it correctly. And then I can show it off maybe on the overhead. It's not enormous, so I can, yeah, thanks, I can show this off. So you've got all sorts of software you can run on it, such as Scratch and Minecraft. You can make art, you can write code, and there's like an online sharing system for sharing code as well. And then I'll show you the back. So this is what you get to put together. Raspberry Pi, little power switch, TFT controller, USB hub. I think this is a microphone over here. A battery pack, so you can see it's plugged in right now, but it actually can run off of battery power as well. It's got a built-in battery pack, and then all the cabling required. And I think that's a Bluetooth or Wi-Fi connector. It looks like it's maybe an earlier Pi 3, and then yeah, so it comes also with a keyboard with a nice touchpad. So it's like if you want to, it's a wireless keyboard. So maybe this is the wireless adapter. So it's this is a great little DIY computer. It's all in one. It even comes with a screen now. It's a really gorgeous screen. It's like a 10-inch, at least 720p, maybe 1080p screen, and it comes with all the software. And the whole point here is that you have a community online. It's not just like, okay, you built a computer and good luck. It takes you through online with a booklet, all the things you can do, from beginners who just want to program in Scratch to play Minecraft to people who actually want to program in Python. So yeah, they've been coming out with some really nice stuff, and this is really gorgeous. And then you can also fit the keyboard in here. I think it's for portability. There you go, yeah. Very nice. So it's the new complete Kano kit. So a complete rebuild of the previous Kano computer.
All right, and the star of the show tonight, besides our community, new Lady Ada, is this. This is one of the most exciting products I think we've released in a very, very long time for people who use a Raspberry Pi.
Yes. So we had this coming soon, and we took some sign up. We're making more and more, but we have the Cricket hats. This is the 4th iteration of the Cricket line, which is basically a helper board that does all the robotics hard stuff for you. So you can just stick to writing your Python code to do whatever you want your robot to do. So this Cricket, unlike the previous ones, which were like Microbit or Circuit Playground Express or feather-shaped, this one is Raspberry Pi hat-shaped. So let's go to the overhead. I can show this demo.
And if anyone who uses a Raspberry Pi and tried to do robotics, it's always a challenge, and that's just the way it is because the Raspberry Pi is still somewhat new. And getting things to move and all the hardware and all the drivers, it's not easy. It's Linuxy. Yeah. And so we think we fixed it. We think we have everything you need now to do robotics with a Raspberry Pi, and also works with CircuitPython. So
yes.
If you use CircuitPython anywhere, this will be very familiar.
Or Python 3, same thing. The drivers are the same across the board. So the Cricket hat is just like a hat. It plugs in right on top, and it gives you all of the things that that a Raspberry Pi doesn't do well. So I'll turn it off in a second, but you can see it's rotating a DC motor. This is a standard brushless motor. It's got servo control. And I'm going to turn it off just so it's not making noise. It's got turn it upside down so it's more readable. So it's got 4 servo connections, so you can connect 4 hobby servos. The ones that take a pulse input, and it does all the timing for you on chip. So you get 4 servos, 8 analog inputs, or digital outputs. So if you need analog inputs or PWMs or whatever, you can get them from this port. You get a 3-volt power, ground, and a signal. There's a speaker connection. On other Crickets, this is just connected to like the analog output of the Circuit Playground Express or something. On this, there's an I2S amplifier, so it actually takes the digital data and will give you like high quality audio output. You can use small speakers or like enormous speakers, anything 4 to 8 ohms, pretty much any speaker you can think of. Plug it in, it'll give you 3 watts of audio. There's a NeoPixel driver. Again, Raspberry Pis aren't good at driving NeoPixels. You can kind of do it, but the chip does it all for you. So you just send it, up to 1,000 pixels worth of data, and it will do the timing for you automatically. You don't have to worry about using a special pin or anything. It's all over the Python commands. We've got the motor ports. This is what I've got this standard DC motor connected to. So any 5-volt motor can connect up. You get 2 bidirectional motors. Or you can use 1 bipolar stepper.
And where are the headers? Someone wanted to know.
Oh, what are they?
Yeah.
These are the signal I/O, so you can get 8 pins, and each pin comes with a matching power and ground, so that's why there's like 3 in a row. These come from the microcontroller, and again, you control them over Python, but you can, like analog inputs you don't have on a Raspberry Pi, but if you have analog sensors that you want to connect to, you can plug them into here. So you can read like a potentiometer, or like some distant sensors have analog input or output. You would use these, you just plug in headers into the, like wires with the headers.
Oh, the Pi headers, they look like they can take stackers through them.
You could stack through them. Right now it has like a basic non-stacking header, but yeah, you can stack on top if you'd like. They can go straight through. And this is a 4-pin drive output, so you get 5 volts and then 4 they're called like Darlington outputs, so you can drive solenoids, unipolar steppers, or some basic, high current device like high current LEDs or stuff. This will do high current drive up to a 0.5 amp per output, with a Darlington transistor with feedback diodes, kickback diodes, so you don't have to worry about like your solenoid voltage coming in and damaging anything. Power comes in through here. So this is your 5-volt power. You can also use this to power the Pi, although honestly I recommend having a separate power supply just because it's best to have like separated 2 power supplies, 1 for your logic and 1 for your motors, because the motors can draw quite a lot of current and then they can be a little noisy. But power comes in here and you can turn it on or off. There's a little LED that tells you that the power is good or bad. If you for example powered this separately and then you unplugged this power, it turns off to let you know, like, hey, like, that wasn't a good idea, like you don't have power on the Cricket hat anymore. And you can see it turns red. There's a reset button. There's USB, so this is interesting. This is for updating the firmware on this chip, but also it's a USB to serial converter, so you can use it to log into your Raspberry Pi. Like on the other Crickets, it doesn't do that because there's no real reason to, but since we had 2 extra pins, we just added a USB to serial converter software to it. So you just plug this in and you can use it to log in directly with any serial terminal software. And then down here we have 4 capacitive touchpads. So again, these are all handled by the Seesaw chip. So if you want to like touch something or have your robot have like a soil sensor, or you want to have some sort of capacitive measurement, you get 4 alligator clip pads as well.
Okay.
And then we have slots here for like the camera and the display. So you can still use it with the camera and display just fine. So add like a robot with, vision to it, or if you want to display output. Again, if you can program this all in Python and make a very advanced robot, and all the robotics are taken care of here while the logic is taken care of by the Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, and like Dave said, I was just about to say the same thing. I like the little serial interface so you can log into it.
It's totally an extra.
Okay.
But it was free. Why not?
So just a couple quick questions, since this is such an interesting product. I think people,
There's so much.
People will answer questions during this because I think a lot of people who watch the new product video later will want to see this.
Yeah.
So we answered the header question. Will it include the .h.c.cpp sources?
It's actually all in Python.
That's right.
The language that you use to program this is it's over I2C, and we have a Python library called Seesaw and Cricket, and you just install it with pip install, and the instructions are like in the guide. And then the code that goes on here is the Seesaw code that's already on GitHub,
okay.
And that is in C, and C++. But you can just grab that on GitHub if you wanted to modify it.
And then people are answering the questions together, but I'll just ask this: how many of the Raspberry Pi IOs are left after the Cricket hat takes what it needs?
The Cricket hat only uses 2 pins, I2C. So there's only SDA and SCL, and you can share those. It only uses one I2C address. The I2S amplifier, if you're going to be using that, uses 3 GPIO as well. But again, that's optional. You don't need to use it. And then there's 2 more pins that you can barely see here. If you would like to use, you can jumper IRQ pins, but you don't need to use them. It does make it a little faster if you use an IRQ pin on the Cricut, because you're not busy waiting on I2C. But other than that, all the other pins are available. So I think you get like maybe like 20 more GPIO.
Yeah.
But only I2C is used. Everything else
Bill's
is...
in the chat. He had a pi to feather converter. He doesn't need that anymore. He can
Yeah,
use
you can use this.
And then the other thing is, yeah, I think this is going to be a popular product, so sign up for it. We put in a batch. I think
We're putting a batch. We're going to put
think
in some
we sold
more
out
very
already.
soon. But yeah, sign
People have
up.
been waiting for this. Okay, and with that, that's the new products lady.
Thank you, everybody, so much.
For a recap.
Gobble, gobble, gobble. Yes. New recap. This Lightning to USB on the go adapter is really handy if you have something that has HID or USB MIDI output. You can plug it in and then use it with your iOS device. That's what it does. It does it quite well. Great for your Neo Trellis or Circuit Playground Express. The new Pi kit from Pimeroni is amazing. It's got a gorgeous screen, totally revamped electronics, totally revamped case. Everything about it is newer, better, easier than ever. This is like generation 3, and it's amazing. A great project for anyone this holiday season. The new Complete Kano kit is a great gift for kids who want to, or adults who want to build their own computer and then program it with Python or with Scratch or play Minecraft. You build your own tablet, basically, all by yourself, built on a Raspberry Pi, and it comes with a software and community built in. The new Cricut hat is our 4th iteration of the Cricut. It gives you analog inputs, PWM, 4 Darlingtons, 2 bipolar DC motors, 2 stepper controllers, 4 capacitive touch, 1 NeoPixel output, an I2S amplifier, 4 servos, a USB serial converter, power management, all that and more on the Cricut hat. It does all the robotics you've always wanted, everything the Raspberry Pi doesn't do, so you can get your robotics or mechatronics going while you use the Raspberry Pi and Python to build your creation.
You know that Raspberry Pi you got because it was so cheap, and you're like, well, like I'm going to do something with one day, but you didn't. Now you can. Okay, that's it.
Thanks, everyone.
All right.
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
Okay, the code for whatever we have in stock left tonight, 10% off, native first all the way up till 11:59 p.m. Thank you. My suggestion again, we'll have, because people are going to ask, we're going to have sales Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Friday, but we've run out of stuff, especially this week in particular. So you may want to purchase something and just save $1 or $2, and don't forget you get the free stuff. We have some top secret.
Okay, what do you want to show?
Okay, well, first off, I have a video of this, so I'm just going to show the video of it. Yeah, I'll just show the video. So this is, we've been working on this for a while. This is our 1-year pass for Adafruit IO. So this will probably be in retail stores and other fine Adafruit resellers, but we spent a lot of time on how this looks because it was special. And so this will be in the store pretty soon, and you'll probably be able to pick it up in some places. And I'll probably get you into some secret clubs. New York's hottest club is Adafruit IO.
Plus.
Yeah. And then this is our new, we're calling it Grand Central. It's the Arduino Mega Form Factor. And we have a video that kind of shows how powerful this is. And we posted it up, I think in Discord, but we're going to play it here too.
Okay.
What is this?
Help! I'm trapped. Help! Let me out of here. Get me out of here. I'm in the Grand Central Mega SAMD51 board, and you know these have a camera connector. Like you can plug in one of these handy 8-bit cameras, and there's a peripheral that will take video or images from these cameras, and then we're just displaying it on our little TFT here. So it looks like I'm trapped, but I'm really over here. I'm safe. It's okay.
Okay, and here it is.
Yeah, I know. Hold on, I gotta. Hey, hello.
Yeah,
so yeah,
this is a live demo.
This shows the camera, and we made it so that pins that you use for a camera almost completely line up, so you can kind of not exactly plug it in, but pretty much plug it in. And then we're just displaying it on a basic SPI TFT display, as shown here. And I can catch myself real fast. It's only 10 hertz because the camera is only 10 hertz, but this is quite a beefy processor. You can see here, this is the next gen. This is Rev B. We added SD card slot, And the LEDs are a little sideways now. The on-off switch is over here on the side. It's got this SAMD51P20. So this is the max. It's 128 pins around it. So we use like, I think 80 GPIO or something ridiculous. Tons of analog pins, 8 circoms, 8 megabytes of SPI flash, SWD if you want to debug, power supply and all that good stuff. And yeah, it's like, mega pinout compatible. We tried as hard as possible to make it as close to the mega as possible. So you should be able to use various shields that are mega designed on this. We'll document, of course, it's not exactly the same as 3-volt logic, for example, and not every pin does exactly the same things. It's a completely different chip, but I think we got it pretty close. All the main functionality is identical.
Yeah, this is gonna be a big deal. So we're still working on it.
And it's massive.
But as you can tell, we've been telling the story as we go along, from the first Eagle file all the way to the first prototype PCBs to it being assembled right now. We're doing this.
It's so big.
Do you have anything else?
Well, I could show this little like gamer thing I've been working on a little bit. I just brought these up. Hold on.
Yeah, and as someone said in the chat, Bill just said, this is exactly what we had in mind for 3D printers. We think there's going to be a lot of new firmwares and innovations in the 3D printing world using the Grand Central, which is maybe also called the M4 Mega or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
People call it whatever they want.
All right, so this is a little M4 badge that I made. It's got buttons and neopixels, and then a light sensor, a little bit like a Halloween. It's got that like Halloween thing on the back with the speaker, feather wings, some stemma connectors, audio amplifier, a little battery space. It's a kind of a wider feather wing with buttons. And but it's a nice little design.
You can't answer this because it's a question because it's not out yet, but I'm going to ask it, and then you can just think about it and answer it when it's out or something. Will the Grand Central use the 6-pin ICSP header as its SPI connector per the UNO 3 header faux standard?
Yes, it is. It is.
Okay.
It has. This is. I mean, of course, you have multiple circoms, so you can put SPIs anywhere. But this is the main SPI port, and this is the main I2C port. Right. But you have like you can use any of these pins. There's circoms all over this thing, so you can have up to 8 SPI I2C UART devices.
Back in the vault.
Back in the vault.
Too many. There's too much talking.
Stop asking questions.
Too much
everybody.
talking. Okay. Speaking of, though, if you want to ask questions about not that stuff, go ahead and go to Discord. That's where we answer the questions. Adafruit.it/Discord. That's where we make and share. We're almost up to 9,000 people. So you should be one of them if you haven't joined yet. Post your questions. We're going to we answered a bunch of questions during the show.
Yeah.
Someone said we're terrible at keeping secrets. Well, here's the thing about.
But isn't that the most fun thing?
Yeah.
Actually, by the way, we are really good at keeping secrets. You just don't know.
So here's the thing. We actually are under like NDAs with some companies. We have to keep things
secrets.
so secret. And that is so secret you'll never hear us talk about it.
You don't even know about it.
But this is our own stuff. So we're like, oh, you know what? Like, it's our stuff. And we're an open source company. So what we like to do is show all these things as we go along. We just don't want to answer questions about those in the top secret section because they're just not.
Well, also things change.
Because people will be like, how much does it cost?
Yeah, I don't know.
If you're in Discord, we always put things in there, and we call it leaks. If you
I mean, like I commit stuff to GitHub. I know it's not a secret. It's on the internet.
All right, I can answer maybe some of these, and you can help with me. Repeating this from the QA, Bill had asked this. We asked it before, so thanks for putting that back. Your videos on Eagle are awesome. That's how Bill learned PCB layout. Yet he had to find a supplier and navigate that process. He uses PCB way, and it works well. Do we have any desired plans to add a PCB service or partner with someone? And have a standard path from your guides to complete a PCB? Well, I'll tell you the answer. The answer is probably not, because what happens is people will have a bad experience at something and then they blame us. What we do is we have a list of companies that we're like, here's who we use, or here's who we suggest.
Is great. OshPark is great. I mean, I love them. I use OshPark all the time, and I recommend them.
But Bill, since you're a super user, here's one thing I'll say. Bill, if you have a good experience with PCBWay, we can have that as a blog post, or if you want to do a guide, like, hey, I learned how to make this on the Adafruit site, and you can put a guide, like, I learned it here, and this is a service I use, and like, just like with Kickstarter or Indiegogo's, when things go wrong, like, people want to blame someone, and because, like, you can chat with us and find us, like, they'll blame us. Like, we're actually pretty easy to get hold of, so we're just like, sorry. So, we wouldn't say, like, Adafruit's the only official one, but we would say, here's some good experience that our community had. So, one, that's a good vote of confidence for PCBWay. But that was something, if you wanted to do, Bill, either a blog post or a guide, we'd be cool with that.
Sweet.
Okay. Will it ever be possible to have an Adafruit design made 3D printer at a friendly price? Has been considered? Yes, it has.
And we said no.
We said absolutely not, because we had so many friends who have 3D printing companies that went out of business, and there's a lot of things that 3D, they're big, they're hard to ship. There's a lot of things that you have to be really specialized in if you want to do it well. You're also competing against very subsidized 3D printers out there. So we decided to make the things that go along with 3D printers. This M4 Grand Central will probably be used to drive a lot of 3D printers. We stock all the filaments. But as far as an Adafruit 3D printers, there's people that can do it better, and that's our sole focus. The Lulzbot one is pretty good if you want open source one. We used to stock it. Okay, let's see. Is there a boost topology best suited for wearable project to power the nth light strip from LiPo Power? DigiKey has a charge pump, flyback, forward converter, and SEPIC options. Anything stand out particular, good or bad? Don't have audio. Watching stream when I get home. So, it's typing.
Yeah, it's those lamps. They use a lot of power. You'll definitely want a boost converter. I don't think you want a flyback or a forward converter. It's a standard boost converter. A charge pump is not going to give you enough current. But the problem is you do need quite a bit of current. So I don't know. You're going to have to find something that can give you like a good amp or so, because those strips are very power hungry, I think.
Okay.
I just like to use a couple AA batteries.
The PowerBoost 1000 LiPo charger power supply does not pass data pins through the application circuit. How can I solder wires to the transmit receive to feed data to the application as well as power?
Well, yeah, that wasn't designed. I think somebody made a variant that does do that. I did it on purpose because when you're charging iPhone devices or whatever, you need to have that voltage on the power on the plug. You can solder little wires, but yeah, there's no, unless you can get a splitter. Sometimes you can get USB splitters that can give you data and power. Maybe look for one of those. That way you don't have to do any soldering, and then you have power coming out from one and data coming out from another cable.
Okay. What's up? Do you have a favorite side dish, Lady Ada, for...
Oh, I like stuffing.
Yeah?
Yeah. Cranberry sauce and stuffing, I'm there. That's the stuff.
I disagree. I don't think that's your favorite.
What's my favorite?
I put it in the chat.
What, it's Vectrex's?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Vectrex.
That's your favorite side dish, is a Vectrex.
I love Vectrex.
Okay, let's see if there's any more questions. Let me go over here. All right. Oh, those are very nice people. They're thankful for our learning guides and for our products.
1651.
When will the Precision 9.5 be back in stock? You ever make
No idea.
Yeah.
Ask NXP. They stopped making it. As soon as they send me chips, I'll make them. Totally nothing I can do about it.
Yeah, sometimes people who supply the chips don't supply the chips.
I cannot get them. If I can get them, if you find them.
If anyone knows anyone in NXP.
If anybody can get them, let me know.
In fact, there are people from NXP watching. You should
Hey,
see the
NXP.
demand. See the demand from the customers.
Come on, man. It's been like 9 months.
Okay. Is the slightly increased price on the Cricut hat versus other Cricuts because of the I2S amp?
Yes, that's the big change. The other ones used a much lower cost. A Class D amp is only like 50 cents. This amplifier is a couple bucks, but it gives you such great audio quality. Also, this is a double-sided board, so it does add a little bit more labor cost, time cost to the manufacturing.
I don't exactly know. AIO ready to go PiCade kit with Raspberry Pi and other hardware? Adafruit IO ready?
Is
maybe Adafruit IO?
I don't know IO. I don't know what the IO is, but the PiCade kit comes pretty much complete.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see, and we'll have everyone post up this for themselves. What are you thankful for in the maker community? So post up your own thing. You don't have to say it or anything, but we appreciate it. Yeah, I'll tell you. This might be the same one as you.
Yeah.
I don't know, but this year in particular, and maybe it was even last year or so, I'm thankful that the maker community is starting to move towards what can we do to help other communities. And I think like Bill's efforts with AT Makers, I think the maker movement was initially like a hobby thing, like, oh, this is a hobby.
Yeah.
And you're just making things for yourself.
Yeah.
And you got a 3D printer and you made the like Yoda head.
Yeah.
And I think what's happening is, just like Adafruit is a cause and a business, I think the maker movement is moving towards more cause-based things. It's like, how can we help do air quality sensor stuff? How can we help kids, like Bill's efforts this weekend in particular for assistive technologies.
Yeah.
And I think I'm thankful for the maker movement. It's the people that are doing this, but it's also just sometimes how it is. If you put out a lot of open source hardware and software, people in need, and I don't mean need like they're broke. I mean they have a technology need, but also these things are really expensive. Where they're able to do more with high quality, low cost hardware like we make, but also the software library. So I'm really thankful that that's happening, and there's enough people doing it where it's not just like one solo voice. It's not just one or two people. It's lots and lots of people. So I'm thankful for that this year in the maker world specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was. I mean, that's we talk about this. So
It's true.
I don't know if I took yours.
I mean, I'm grateful for the community. I mean, like if I was here alone, this wouldn't be nearly as fun. So I'm kind of selfish in that I really love that there's all these people showing off their cool stuff, and I'm so inspired, and it's like amazing to watch people build their creations. And I'm releasing hardware and software to the world, and then people take it and they do something cool with it. It could be assistive tech. It could be cosplay related. It could be wearables. It could be music. It could be anything. But they're able to make what they have always wanted to. And like this didn't used to be possible. It used to be really, really hard.
Yeah.
But it's easier, and they're helping each other, which I always love. I love seeing people on Discord. They help each other. And it's not just like a braggy showy off only thing. It's totally cool to show off, but it's also helping each other and making it easier for people to share. Like having a good community takes a lot of work, and I think everybody does their little part in making it a friendly community.
So Adafruit specific, because that was my big I'm glad the maker movement in general is starting to move towards helping each other, but very Adafruit specific. CircuitPython is gluing a lot of these communities together. This is how Dan Halbert ran into us. He was doing an assistive technology project. The inclusiveness and diversity of the CircuitPython community, and this is the work from Dan, Scott, Kattni, like our entire team, that's really bringing a lot of different people together. This is why we have like 9,000 people on Discord. There's videos about people saying, well, maybe it's time to also do CircuitPython, micropython, and microcontrollers and move from other platforms that are sort of well known. Like this is happening pretty fast, even though it seems like it's happening slow because we're doing this. It is happening very fast. So I'm really thankful for that in the maker movement specific to Adafruit, because I think it's bringing in a lot of people. When you look at our newsletter, there's artists that are using CircuitPython. Python in general has such a wide reach. It's bringing in a lot of interesting new ideas and cool people that normally wouldn't be in the electronics world. So I think that's really.
I'm a believer.
I think that's really powerful.
Yes.
So okay.
Okay, cool.
Oh, look at this. So yeah, there's a lot of.
Yay! Everyone's thankful.
Read the chat. There's a lot of thankful folks.
Do you want to give away some stuff?
Yeah, we got to get out of here soon. So what do you want to give away?
We're giving away a cricket hat.
Cricket hat. Wow, we have one?
Yeah.
Okay, what are the rules?
Rules are, if you've won something before, you can't win again. Only one winner per my lifetime. First person to call the phone number. I'm going to pick up the phone. I'm going to say ahoy, ahoy. And if you answer with your name, where you're calling from, and a project you're working on, or you want to work on, or something you're thankful for. Bonus, you don't have to say a project if you just want to say what you're thankful for. When this phone rings twice.
We ran out of cricket hats, so you can.
No, we have one.
No. But I'm saying you can't buy them in the store right now.
No.
So if you wanted to get one, this is the only one.
But we have a stash.
We do. All right. Okay.
You have one.
So dial this phone number.
Dial this number, and it's going to ring this magical.
Oh,
okay, and it rings twice.
All right.
I'm going to say ahoy, ahoy. Okay. Ready?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Ahoy, ahoy. You've reached Ask an Engineer. Ahoy, ahoy. Ahoy, ahoy. Okay, can you turn off your computer audio?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Okay. Oh, wait.
I did.
Okay, great. Well, what's your name and where are you calling from?
It's Phil in Pennsylvania.
Wow, Phil from Pennsylvania. Well, this is it. You're like the Phillies, Pennsylvania. You're like the gritty eyes, maybe. Okay, congratulations. You're the winner of a cricket hat. We're showing off the gritty eyes. But you've won product number 3957. All you have to do is email support@adafruit.com, SUPPORT, and say, hey, it's Phil from Pennsylvania, and I won a product number 3957, and they're going to send it to you as soon as possible.
That is wonderful.
Okay.
To come back into stock.
All right, thank you. Wait, I know we got to make more. So, Phil, what's the thing you're making, you want to make, or that you're thankful for this year?
I'm, like you, thankful for the community. It's so wonderful to be a member and part of it.
Okay, well, that's a wonderful thing, and I'm thank you for calling, and I'm thankful that you're part of the community too. I hope you build something cool with the Cricket Hat. Maybe you'll come by Show and Tell. Maybe you'll share it on Discord. Either way, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Stay warm. Eat whatever tasty side dishes are your favorites.
You too. Gobble,
Okay,
gobble.
gobble gobble. Good night.
Thank you.
Okay,
All right,
that's our show.
that's the show.
I'm gonna get some
Thanks,
cookie. Gonna get the
thanks for all the folks sticking around a couple extra minutes. We had an epic show tonight. Of course, we say this every
Stuffing.
week, but in this week in particular, thank you everyone here in Adafruit Factory, all our employees. Thank you, all our remote team members, all of the Adafruit helpers in Discord, all of the folks that help keep Adafruit going, including just if you watch the shows and purchase them once in a while. We very much appreciate it. Be good to each other tomorrow. You know it's fun
What?
at
This?
at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
If you have some relatives you don't want to talk politics about, talk about the stuff you make.
Yeah.
Everyone makes something,
Yes.
and that is a excellent way to get away from some of the heated discussions that happen across the country every single year. Talk about the stuff you make. Everyone makes something. They'll even talk about the things they used to make, and why aren't they making things now? There's always something to talk about that can bring people together. So that's just some advice.
I agree.
So thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week. 7:30 p.m.
Gobble gobble.
Eastern Time for Show and Tell. 8
Okay.
p.m. for Ask an Engineer. And once again, thank you
Thank
for keeping us a 100% woman-owned, independent, profitable company.
Turkey-owned.
No loans, no venture capital. We've been able to do this, and it's only been because of you. So thank you.
I can't wait to write code this weekend.
That's right. We're gonna do that.
I love it. It's cold out. I'm gonna write some code.
Okay. All right,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody.
And here is your moment of Zener.